All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mortgage Coach 10X Tuesday interview. Today, we have the one and only Shayla Gifford. I could not be more pumped. Always pumped when I get to spend time with you, Shayla. How you doing?
Oh, I'm Dave, you've been so instrumental in my career in so many ways, the things that you create, but just your energy, your friendship, your influence. And every time you ask me to be in your world, I always like boost to another place. So I'm pumped for today.
Yeah, no, I am too. And you and I know at your retreat coming up. Is it in September? Your
Yep.
September retreat?
Slay with
You
Shay. Slay with Shay. Dave Savage is going to be a speaker. I'm so excited for you to talk about your code, the way that you function and operate. How do you stay sustainably on fire, Dave, and a well-rounded man? I mean, the way you've lived as a father and in your marriage and built a business and continue to serve and serve and serve and serve and always look for hope and optimism. You are remarkable. So I can't wait to put you in lights and for you to kind of break down your life philosophies and how you've achieved what you have and how you carry that legacy forward. So I'm stoked to have you.
well, I'm stoked to do it. And when I mentioned it to you, and you're like, "Oh, Dave, that's I want to go deeper on that." I, it's been a journey, and I'm not going to tell the whole story right now, but I want to do frame today's call around. We all have a code. Like we all operate on codes. Some of the code that we operate under is really intentional and we live it well. Some of it's broken. Like
Mhm.
I have had broken codes. I'm embarrassed. My wife will never let me get over it, what I used to say, but I used to say, there's plenty of time for sleep when you die. Like that was a Dave Savage quote. I believed it. I lived it. I said it. I spread it. And then I don't know, maybe it was a decade ago, I got to science. I also had a personal transformation and realized that, oh, sleep is like ground floor of emotional IQ. So that's
Yeah.
just like one example of broken codes. But guys, we're going to do today's call around rocket proofing mortgage careers. And I'm going to ask Shayla in just a second her thoughts on this. But I want to frame the call this way. So when I think of rocket proofing mortgage careers, I think about winning locally. I think about winning your database. But I think most of the people that are part of this community, Rocket's not your biggest threat. You know who your biggest threat is? It's the Shayla Giffords, it's the Jeremy Forciers, it's the people that I interview that they are elevating their customer experience. They are elevating how they win locally. They are elevating how they win their database, and the gap is widening. So to me, Shayla, when I say rocket proof careers, I'm saying, yeah, there are skills that need to be upgraded. There are codes that need to be lived, but but it's game time. Like it's 2025 and we need to change how we operate. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it often comes down to relationships. And are you intentional and focused on building and growing profitable win-win relationships in your community? And that's what I see gets it done. I've just created a new passion project, Dave. I'm on a mission to help people become a rainmaker. If you go to my new website, shaylagifford.com, it's all about this inflection point in your career of where you go from just like succeeding and making it to becoming mega great, to actually being in control of the abundance you create for yourself and others. And not only just in making it rain and getting the phone to ring and creating more and more leads and opportunities for your life, but like also making it rain in every area of your life, creating communities and circles and opportunities and expansion and in everything that you do, because you literally are attracting that which you want to attract into your life. And you're really intentionally focused on building a life that you want. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about, Dave. I've been thinking a lot about there's three phases of a career. There's the betting on myself phase. And I dropped out of college and got into sales at 19 years old. And I was making cold calls and I was doing presentations and living on air mattresses and waitressing at night and doing all that stuff. But I dropped out of college because I bet on me. I bet against the story that said, if you go to school and you get a degree and you get a good job, someday you will be happy, safe, and secure. And I said, you know what? I want to go out and create something and be in charge of my success. I want to be a 3%er, not a 97%er. And I know every single person on this call at some point in time took that major leap into this industry, became commission only, and said, I'm going to bet on myself. And so for that first 10 years, I was in that phase. And what it looked like on the outside was like, wow, Shayla's being bold. She's being courageous. She's doing her own thing. She's got this business. She's dressed the part. She looks the part. Behind the scenes, what it looked like was frantic and chaotic and a lot of fear and imposter syndrome and the roller coaster. One month I had loans, the next month I didn't. The next month I was making it and I was a superstar. And the next month I'm thinking, I'm embarrassed. What if I'm going to be a failure? And I was driven by fear all the time to go make it. But that's the key part of your life. You've got to go through that and figure out how to get good at the skills required to build relationships, to gain trust, to advise people. And then I think this inflection point, that next phase of career, is to be a rainmaker and to be a business person. And Dave, if I would just say that's exactly what you've been working to help people do, is in the kick-ass phase of their career and betting on themselves. And the rainmaker phase, you're bringing tools and you're bringing systems and you're interviewing people that have crossed that threshold. And you're bringing hope to say, look, if she can do it, if he can do it, you can do it too. But a rainmaker is somebody who's on purpose, by design. They are a leader, not a helper. They are focused on time blocking and what they do with their time. And really, they're focused on impact through relationships. And then I think the next phase, which Dave, you're personally living in, which is why I want you on the Slay with Shay stage talking about the code, is becoming an effective leader and leaving a legacy. And I know today you don't need to be doing these calls every Tuesday to pay your bills or whatever. Like you're truly looking to leave a lasting impact on our industry and changing people's lives on the daily. And many people are in that threshold where they're like, gosh, I want to get out of fear and live truly in abundance. I want to be in that place of my most generous, authentic self. I want to be thinking about others every day. I want to be obsessed with impact. And that's the threshold that they're crossing into. So I think wherever you are is where you need to be, and you need to be really focused on what it takes to get to that next level locally through relationships and also through your unique style. Like, don't try to be Dave. Dave is Dave. And Shayla, like, how are you going to embrace your God-given gifts and talents and unique style to harness and focus and embody being the leader that you want to be, being the rainmaker you want to be, and of course, being the parent you want to be?
Love that. So here's what I want to do, because I want to unpack this over the next, we've got 50 minutes. I want to, like, you just laid out what I would call some seasons of life, and you called out some, I use the word pivotal moments of life, but like we are at a pivotal moment well, first of all, I want to see if you agree with me in the mortgage industry. When you look at the moves that Rocket's made, they, this new Rocket engine is going to have 9.5 million managed mortgages under management. And we know they do a really good job of retaining them. And by the way, there's a lot of servicers that do a really good job of retaining loans. Now Rocket has plugged in this, purchase funnel with Redfin, so that 10 million mortgages, or that 9.5, is only going to go up. And so I think, and then we've all seen what AI looks like and what AI can do in terms of just accelerating the quality of communication. And so I think we're in this pivotal time. Do you agree, as an industry, that the winners, the people that are going to thrive, and I do believe there will be local human beings that for decades to come are going to be the market leaders, but they're going to have a different mindset. They're going to have different skills than, let's just say, most of the people on the call. Like, I just scrolled through the names and I see some absolute top producing, complete ballers that I would say level 5 modern mortgage advisor, check. They're going to be in the future. And then there's names I don't know, but I also just know the metrics of how people are producing in this industry. They're either going to be on a team, working for a team, or they're going to be out of the business, or they're just going to be struggling. So do you agree that 2025 represents that type of pivotal moment in the mortgage industry?
Yes. So the answer is to double down on being the most trusted choice and to making friends before you need them. And I think, we're all living in this AI world where we do want life to be easier. And we are served up so many options on an app. And we're getting more and more comfortable working with bots and all those things. Like we're all that consumer as well. But I still believe and will always believe that buying a home and selling home ownership versus selling homes is the most important thing. It's a very emotional thing. And so we are emotional guides as much as we are financial guides. And it's been, apparent more than ever over the last couple of years is like, how come some producers are still doing 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 units a month? They're good at EQ. They're good at connecting with people and getting into their fear and then guiding them through their fear. And, they're using tools like MortgageCoach to do this. They're also just using human connection tools. And obviously the best originators of the future are going to be the humans that have those soft skills and have a database of relationships, but true relationships. And then they're backed by technology. They're using the technology for better communication, more focus, broader reach, all of those things. So I still think if you're sitting here in Reno, Nevada, and you've got a great relationship with somebody and they say, hey, we need to have a mortgage, like Shayla needs to be the number one thought. It can't be, yeah, I think I know some girl, or remember that girl we had? Like if you're number two or below, we're going to get squashed simply because somebody in a centralized model, whether it's Rocket or somebody else, is going to do it cheaper with people that are sitting in a call center getting paid low comp to do it. So I just think that's it. It seems like scary, but it's not scary because every single one of you know how to make friends. And I think what happened is COVID pulled us so into our holes and into our shells, and we were overwhelmed and we were just focused on doing the logistical part of the job that we forgot that it's like, no, relationships are what get it done. Ultimately, we're always a couple of relationships away from our business completely transforming.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I hope you guys wrote down, double down on being the trusted choice. So let's do this. Let's think of the art and science. And the art is your emotional IQ, it's your humanity, it is you. And then there's the science. And the science is, by the way, it's what you do with technology. Like Mortgage Coach isn't the magic. The magic of Mortgage Coach is the problems it solves. Like right now, there's a lot of people that want to move up. And either they have a 4% and they're going to be moving up into a 6%, and you need to help them like speed to clarity. Like you need to help them go
Yeah.
like, oh, speed to clarity. And there's a lot of people that they got to buy before they sell. They've got to be happy, like be financially fired up to move into that 6% rate because they know what that's going to do to their net worth. But I'll be the science guy, you be the art girl, and
Okay.
let's break down like if there was a checklist and loan officers are on this and they're gonna like I'm gonna rocket proof, future proof my career. Give us like checklists maybe, and people can even self-assess here. Like Shayla, like what are some of the things a mortgage professional needs to do to rocket proof their career from an art perspective?
Well, let's first talk about lead generation because without any leads coming through the door, we're in a really tough position and we're always going to be riding that roller coaster and we're going to be at the mercy of somebody else. And that's where we feel the least confident. So I always think about stability, confidence, and freedom. And first and foremost, when you're thinking about lead generation and you're thinking about building relationships and you're thinking about being the most effective. See, so many people want to just check boxes and say, I made 100 calls. I've never done that. It's about if I'm going to be on the call, stay on the call until I've landed the thing, until we've had a meaningful conversation, until, I've pierced their heart. We've gone somewhere. Like make everything you do effective. Otherwise, we're wasting time. And that's one of the key parts of my code is I don't waste time. Like if I'm with people, I'm going to be really with you. Now I'm also an introvert. So I retreat a lot, and I can spend a lot of time by myself. But if I'm going to be somewhere, I'm all the way in. If I'm on a board meeting, I'm raising my hand, I'm in, I'm commenting. If I'm sitting in a meeting with 4 other people, I am listening, I'm nodding my head, I'm paying attention. Like, you can feel my energy because I'm going to be all in when I'm in. And so that needs to be bar none part of it. I've always thought about, like, if you think about your dollar per hour and you make, 100,000 a year, $250,000 a year, let's say you make $200 an hour. What activities are you doing that aren't $200 an hour? And for all of us that are salespeople, you guys know what they are. It's all the answering of the emails and the paperwork and all those things. Like, we've got to be doing the stuff that makes us uncomfortable, but ultimately what we're made for, what we're good for, what we signed up for, which is making the big phone calls, meeting the new people, asking for the referrals, getting referred from one person to the next person, asking for the opportunity to do an interview, going to make a video with somebody. Like, we've got to get out there. So what I've really found, Dave, is that I want people to work in their natural style. I created an assessment. I'm not going to put you guys on this today. It literally only takes 4 minutes though. And you can go to my website and do the assessment, but I'm going to give you the cheat code to it. There's 4 archetypes. There's trust builder, networker, marketer, and technician. You have to figure out your primary and secondary archetype so that you can figure out how to open the door with one and close the door with the other, how to create opportunity and how to scale with the other. So for example, Dave, I am a technician, networker. So I am very strategic. I love solving problems. I love thinking way into the future and going, okay, how do we build a $3 billion team? What does that look like? How do we build this incredible culture? How do we create more trust? How do we convert at a higher level? How do we overcome this objection? My brain's always thinking strategically. But what it means is I can often sit behind my desk. I can hide behind a spreadsheet. I can be writing plans till the end of the earth. And if I just sit there doing that, I'm never going to scale. So I've got to go get networking. I've got to show up at board meetings. I've got to be in different communities at a BNI. I've got to go to realtor events. I got to host events where I meet people. That opens the door for me as a networker. And then I close the door through my unique strategic vision. Like, hey, Dave, here's how I think you and I can make an impact together. What if we went and did XYZ together? How does that create a win-win for you and for me? Do you guys see how you have to use both? So some people are trust builders and they've killer one-on-one. They're really good at building friendships, of being funny, of having humor, of working in small groups. Well, a lot of those times those people stay small. They're like, oh, I got my homies, I got my small group of people, and that limits them from actually getting out there and meeting enough people. And so they've got to use their secondary archetype to help scale and open more doors. The trust builder is probably what actually converts people because they're just so good. Like, you just love these people. Trust builders, like, oh, I want to be friends with you. I like you. You make me feel safe. You make me feel comfortable. You make me laugh. Like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Right. And then we all know the marketers, and marketers are so good at telling stories. And Dave, you've got to be a marketer because you're so good at sharing story and thinking a story and correlating stories. And so whatever you are, you need to embrace what you are and stop wishing you were something else. But double down again, if we're going to double down on being the most trusted choice or being the one that's in people's minds because of your strengths. Like, you're always bringing unique strategies, or you're, bringing love and humor, or you're, bringing them to opportunities to network with other people.
So guys, I put a link to Shayla's
So anyway,
assessment.
we've got a lead gen, Dave.
I put a link to Shayla's
Thank
assessment in chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link to all of these links. I also put a link to the Modern Mortgage IQ assessment. And I would just tell you guys, like, ground floor to, like, rocket proof your career, future proof your career, assess where you're at, like, take multiple assessments and then create plans. Like, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And I can't remember if I took your assessment or not. And I'm pretty sure, because I listened to your podcast with Sean Herrera, which, by the way, guys, like, extraordinary interview. Shayla's podcast is truly like a must. Add it to your listening list. We'll put a link to that interview with Sean. Truly amazing. But he was a technician, and I do know when I founded Mortgage Coach, I was a technician too. I mean, that was kind of like my superpower. Like I called it Wow Tools. I wanted to be able to ask you some questions, and then I wanted to be able to be like, oh, let me show you some options. Let me show you transparency. Let me show you value beyond the transaction. And it was all about, early in my career, it was just I was a sales animal. I wanted to be the top loan officer in my city, in my state. And at one time I was one of the top 50 in the country. And I wanted to be able to win at scale. And then I have evolved to where, I guess you call it legacy, significance. I want to create as much impact and change as I can. But I want you guys take her assessment. You need to know where you're at. Take that modern mortgage IQ assessment. They're both free. They'll both help you. So before let's for another 8 minutes do lead gen, because you got to have
Yeah.
quantity of conversations. And then maybe in the second half, we'll do quality. Like now, how do you have more
Good.
quality conversations? What is the number of conversations a day a rainmaker has? Or what are, like, because I also think like,
Yeah.
let's win the day. How do we win the day as a Shayla Gifford rainmaker from a quantity perspective?
Yeah. Well, okay. So if you work 8 hours a day and you think about this green time, red time, and green time is that money making activities, you're doing $200 an hour work. You've got to be at least 4 hours a day in sales mode and creating opportunity and meeting awesome people and fostering relationships and developing relationships. And you have to believe that if you really pour into people and relationships, that will come back to you tenfold. And I will tell you, that was a hard shift for me because I was so frantic in that bet on yourself phase of my business that I was always just looking for my next deal. So I didn't want to waste any time with people going anywhere. If it's like, if this is a deal, yes, no, move on. Yes, no, move on. Yes, no, move on. And of course, I was looking at refis primarily because it was easy to say, let's sell a deal or not sell a deal. Whereas driving purchase business is the long game where I don't have to worry if I'm starting over come January 1st, because I could say, gosh, I got 15 or 25 or 40 referral partner relationships where I'm an integral part of their business. I know that I can help them convert. I can help them make them look good. I can add scale to what they're doing. I'm an integral part of their process to earn them more referrals. That shifted everything for me when I went from being transactional to like, where's my next deal, which is super frantic, commission breath, all those things, to who can I help make more money? And so I remember a clear shift when I said, I want my identity to be, if you hang out with me in business, okay, not in life, but if you hang out with me in business, you make more money because you hang out with me. You might make more money because I'm driven and you step up your drive. You might make more money because, I'm going to challenge you and you're going to challenge me. It might be because of my creative strategic brain, or that I invest a lot of money in coaching and learning. And I'm constantly coming back from these conferences and my coaching sessions or these interviews and saying, hey, have you listened to this podcast? Have you read this book? Let's do this challenge together for 30 days. But I want to be somebody that says, I want to be around her. I know my life will be better. I know I'll make more money. I know I'll be more successful if I hang with her. So I want you to think about your identity in business. It might be, I'm going to have less stress if I hang out with him. Like, he is just going to make my life less stressful because of how he's dialed in. Or, gosh, my life will be so much more fun if I partnered with her because she just has a way of making this business fun. So time, money, stress. Are you fun? Are you easy? What is your thing? And again, like, I'm not that fun. I'm working on that in my personal life, Dave. It's like my reinvention. I'm going through a whole thing about reinvention, and it is to find the more playful, silly, giddy, present, joyful Shayla, because I could definitely wear the intense, driven, and I want to expand my being. I want to expand what's possible for me. I'm not trying to ditch that part of me, but I want to expand that part of me. So You got to drive sales in your unique way and believe that if you pour into relationships with people and say, I want to help you make money. Dave, what mission are you on? Can I help you in your mission? And Dave might say, well, Shayla, I'm only going to meet with people from Saudi Arabia that are princes and kings. And that's who I'm going after because I'm looking to raise $100 million over the next 12 months. Do you know anybody like that? I'm like, nope. But my brain is already going. I mean, that was the wildest example, Dave. But you might say that to me and I go, I wonder if I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows a Saudi prince. And as I'm thinking about it, I kind of might. Let me see if I can talk to somebody. That's somebody that is like legitimately just open and curious on how I can make your life better and make you more successful. And at the end of the day, I'm in business to make people money, and that has given me relief. Yes, I want you to like me, but that's an afterthought. I want you to like my attitude, my effort, my product, because I'm a technician and I can deliver that. Some of you will go about it. You'll do business with me because you just really like me. And then I'll add value to you because I help you. So, I hope this is resonating. I want to know in the chat, are you easy, fun? Or do you work on being less stressful? What is the thing that you provide? What do you want your identity to be?
And I'm going to insert a thought right now, guys. This is from the code. One of the things I have in my code is be the sun, be a sun person. By the way, guys, everybody, I don't even need to ask, like Shayla is a sun person, and a sun person is someone that just brightens everybody that they're around, and is it their smile? Yeah, they do smile and it's contagious. Are they kind and cool? Absolutely. They're cool people. They're positive, do they solve problems? But that is something that I've worked my whole life. And again, it becomes a habit. Like you become a habit. Like Shayla doesn't even know how to get on a stage or walk into a meeting with a realtor or meet with a buyer and be the sun. Like she doesn't even know how not to do that because she's created a habit. But I also know, because I've met enough mortgage professionals and just enough people in life, that most people aren't the sun. Like they do not step into room with that energy. And by the way, guys, that is a habit. There are little things that you've done that have put you in that place. And I will tell you, like, you want to rocket proof your mortgage? Like, if you are the sun and you have that type of aura and that type of energy, when you step on a stage or you walk into the room, you are on your way to rocket proofing your mortgage career. So real quick, before
I have to just say it's a mindset of what can I give instead of what can I get.
Ooh.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And this is how you gain more confidence, is that you just believe that if you sit with enough people with the attitude of what can I give instead of what can I get, and your goal is to just shine on them and find out why they're special, why they're unique, why they're likable, that it'll come back, that people will just be naturally curious and attracted to who you are and what you have to give them. Not everybody needs us right now. Not everybody is a fit right now, but people just don't even go out and say, like, who can I help? See, like right now, between now and the end of June, what are you looking for? I'm looking for people who are hungry, who have goals, who want to kick some ass, who want to put some deals in contract for the summer. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a best friend. I'm not looking for a forever partner. I'm not looking for somebody who wants to change up their life. Like, I'm out prospecting to find people who are high energy, who want to expand their being, who are like, let's go. And they want to put deals in contract for the summer. Are you one of those people? No? All good. What are you up to? Oh, I'm up to like something else. Cool. Love you. Bye. Like, there's no wasted time meeting with people. And I don't know why there's such a hesitation right now to getting more initial freaking contact. I'm launching a sales contest for all you managers on this call. You can rip us off. You can reach out to Billy Adams, my sales manager. You can take our exact playbook if you want to. Starting Monday, we're doing a 30-day sales challenge for May. We're calling it Mayhem. Mayhem May. And the minimum goal is that you have to be on my sales call every Monday, where I bring the energy and I bring the love and I find out what's winning and we mastermind and I get your numbers every Monday so that you're accountable and know your numbers. So you got to be on those calls every Monday, which most everyone on my team are. And then second, you've got to see 5 people face to face every single week. That's the bare minimum. And then everybody's name gets in the drawing at the end of the month to win $1,000 prize. And we have like a sauna or I don't know, sort of cool $1,000 things that we found. And we're going to ship that $1,000 prize to your house. And then each week we've broken everybody into small groups. So they're in groups of like 5 LOs that are similar size. And we're competing on face-to-faces, locks, leads, and credit pulls. And you get so many points for winning first place in each of those, second place, third place. The winner of the week gets a $100 gift card. The winner of all the winners get a 250. So it's just running a sales contest. But I'm telling you, there is a resistance in our industry and maybe in the world. And it's probably because of social media. And it's probably because of getting lost in texting and sitting behind our computer. And there's so much noise of just getting out and meeting people. Because remember, at the very top of the sales funnel, if you want to be local, if you want to rocket proof your business, is the very top of the sales funnel is initial contact. This will never change in sales. You have to talk to a lot of people. And no matter how crappy you are as a salesperson, if you talk to enough people, you will be successful. Amanda Ray just said this from stage at the Modern Mortgage Summit. This is a girl that's a 70 to $100 million girl. She's like, look, I'm kind of awkward. I'm an introvert. I sit behind my desk. But Shayla says, if I talk to enough people, even the shittiest salesperson makes sales. That's how Rocket will do well. They will use AI and auto dialers, robo dialers, whatever is legal for them to use. And they'll be, monitoring these 9.5 million people every single day for their buying habits and behaviors and all this crazy stuff. And then they'll go, boom, call that guy. They're going to be out spear fishing in the ocean with the 10 million that they have. Well, guess what? There's like 400 million people, and there's still nothing like human connection of being with people face to face, having people over to your house, having barbecues, having happy hours, going on walks, hikes with people, going to a Pilates class, having a lunch and learn, having a mastermind, getting people together and saying, how can we win together? That will rocket proof you. Your uniqueness, your love, your energy, your enthusiasm, like people can tell if you really, really care about them. So like, that's the secret, is know your style. Are you needing to go network? Go network. If you're needing to share and tell stories, you need to never stop telling stories. So Dave, I believe you're a technician marketer, which is a cool thing. So you're super technical. You created a damn technology from being technical. And then you have been obsessed with telling stories. I remember the first time you spoke, Dave, the first time, and within 2 minutes of you speaking, you told a story about digital disruption and the hockey stick. And I was like hooked. I was in. In fact, I think the whole company was in, because that's your skill set. So I could go on and on, you guys. I get really passionate about this because I just know that it's just a switch of saying, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be the biggest version of me. And I'm going to go meet a ton of people and trust that if I want to help them win, I will eventually win.
So we're going to flip the chapter of this story that we're creating together into quality conversations. But the one metric I want to throw out for everybody, and I would even urge you to consider this when you do that Mayhem Monday, or excuse me, Mayhem May, is 10 quality conversations a day. Like we have a thing going on in the Mortgage Coach community. We call it the Win 30 Days. And to win 30 days, it's 10 quality conversations every day. And by the way, if you do that, you won the day. And then from a quality conversation in our community, it's 2 Mortgage Coach presentations a day, like at least 2 times a day. And I know Amanda Ray probably crushes that. She's a big mortgage coach. But let's talk about, because I not because I'm Mr. Mortgage Coach, I just believe that consumers have a lot of problems and they have a lot of opportunities. They have a lot of debt. 60% of people are at 2, 3, or 4%. Realtors want to list those homes and move them up. Realtors want to move up buyers. There's never been more affordability concerns for first-time home buyers. So like from a speed to clarity perspective, we need to We need to help them, see the light. Look at what owning looks like versus renting. So I'm on this mission to turn every loan officer into a data-driven mortgage coach. Why, Shayla Gifford, you're always a big advocate for mortgage coach, and I know you've turned a lot of the guild loan officers into mortgage coaches, but why, in your opinion, is mortgage coach more valuable than ever right now?
Because when people are emotional, they get insecure, and we've got to get them out of their emotion and into data. First, you got to connect with the emotion. It's human to human. So you have to like make sure that they can tell that you're genuine, that you care about them as a whole person and a whole human. So like in your pre-approval meeting, you got to spend the first 10 minutes really knowing about, tell me your story. This whole thing about selling home ownership instead of selling homes, that podcast is Amber Coleman. She, by the way, went from 200 and something units to 400 and something units just last year. Okay. She grew 90% between 23 and 24. And you know how she did it? She goes, I'm not selling homes, I'm selling homeownership. And she's telling her emotional story about what it was like to be a landlord. And she's getting the buyers to talk about what their current experience is like if they're first time home buyers and they're renting and they've had landlords, and what that experience is like and the ways in which, that's limiting them. And she's connecting with her heart to talk about, where do you want to be 10 years from now? For me, I'm always thinking 10 years ahead, and I'm thinking, how do I, eventually become debt free or not have a house payment or gain more freedom in my life? And so that is really important. And I think, again, so many people are afraid of speaking from their heart these days. When Brene Brown became a bazillion watched person talking about vulnerability, all that means is speaking from your heart. So if you do that first and you trust yourself, your confidence comes from your self-trust. And if you trust yourself over and over again, if I can just speak from my heart and be honest, I will be received. Now, is everybody going to like you? No, but stop trying to be some scripted professional. I love scripts. I can give you guys scripts till I'm blue in the face. But the point is the essence. And the essence is, I care about you. I really want to know your story. I want to know why this matters to you. Tell me about your parents' story around home ownership. Tell me about your grandparents' story about home ownership. What do you think are going to be some of the sacrifices? Guys, let's be real. Going from a $2,500 rent payment to a $3,700 mortgage payment, there's sacrifices there. Now, it's not as bad as they think when we start breaking down buy versus rent and the tax advantages and how much money is going to principal and all those things. That's where all of a sudden they become less emotional with the data. But yes, they're going to have to probably make some sacrifices. But is the emotional story, is the security, the stability, and the freedom of owning a home worth those sacrifices? Was it worth the sacrifices their parents made and their grandparents made that got them into a home? How did that change the trajectory of their family, not just from a wealth perspective, but from a stability perspective? So I think you got to be careful not to jump quick into presentation data mode. Okay. You've got to spend time in the art and the connection. And then you can say, gosh, would it be okay if I showed you something really cool? Now you've got their trust. Now you're going to data, and you're sharing data in a way that is visual. It's, simple. And that's why your tool, Mortgage Coach, really works, is because if combined with the emotional part, right? So I think so many people have gotten so worried on their confidence, well, somebody's going to shop me and they only care about the lowest rate and it's commodity. And every buyer's an asshole these days. And these are the stories that you've been telling yourself for 2 years. No, they're not. They are human beings that are just as frazzled, overwhelmed, and scared as you are. And they need kid gloved. They need to be wrapped around, and then they need to be shown something in a very simple way.
So guys, Shayla Gifford said we have to double down on being the trusted choice. So how do you be the trusted choice in a market like this? First of all, you connect with the consumer, as Shayla has talked about. You ask great questions. You get to understand their needs beyond the transaction. Why are they buying this home right now? And then you solve the transactional problems in today's market. Right now, we need to get people financially fired up, whether it's moving up, going from a 4% to a 6%, buying before selling, First-time home buyers overcoming affordability challenges, showing different down payment options, showing different interest rate options, showing 2-1 buy downs. And there's no more important way to do that in today's market than using Mortgage Coach. Being a great human being in person with consumers, or whether you're on Zoom or in person, and then helping solve problems, showing how to do a grant, and, being able to, which, we're adding this AI option in June. Which loan option is best if I'm living in this home for 5 years? Those are the kinds of questions that consumers have in today's market. Boom. And the same time that the consumer gets that answer in Chat GPT time, the loan officer understands what the consumer's needs are, what's in their mind. So in today's market, it's never been more important to be a data-driven mortgage coach. So if you haven't already, get a demo. You can sign up as an individual loan officer at trustengine.com. You can get a demo as an executive at trustengine.com, or ask about our small groups edition. So sign up for Mortgage Coach. And for all of you that are on Mortgage Coach right now, you have access to it. Do 2 total cost analysis every single day, and your volume, you'll kill it. You'll be hitting all your goals and your volume will go up. Let's get back to Shayla. Guys, speed to clarity. It is a complex market out there right now, whether it's affordability challenges, whether people are looking at down payment options, and you need to deliver the slickest, most elegant digital experience. And it needs to be AI enabled. I mean, Shayla, you haven't seen it yet, but one of the cool things we're coming out with in June is that the total cost analysis, the consumer will literally be able to engage with it with AI, and like, oh, what's the lowest cash to close? Boom. What's the break even between option 2 and option 3? Boom. And so not only will the consumer get the bar charts and just things, they'll be able to ask with AI. And then the cool human being who is awesome will know how the consumer is engaging. So we call that sales intelligence. And guys, at the end of the day, the mortgage professionals that are everything that Shayla's talking about connect in a local way, ask great questions, go beyond the transactional questions and ask the hopes, dreams, the goals, the real why behind homeownership, and then use the data to tell a story and paint a picture for the consumer. They're going to be rocket proof. They're going to be like, bring on Amazon Mortgage if you can do that. Anything to add to that?
Just what just resonated for me again was just the importance of face-to-face meetings. If you can be in an office and deliver an experience, and Sean Herrera on that podcast episode talks about the experience, like, do I create, and this is what you all chatted early on, what is the experience of working with you? Like, the experience I think of working with Shayla is like drinking 6 cups of coffee, like, whoa, like we can do it. It's what I'm naturally suited to do. So that's what I do. And if the experience of being with you is like this calm and serenity and clarity, that's what it needs to be. But I just think that, we rush to make it easy for people instead of rushing to build a relationship. And every customer that comes and sits in your office knows 100 people. So again, you might spend an hour in this pre-approval meeting and teaching them something and giving them a wow tool and emotionally connecting, and they don't buy. But they know 100 freaking people, and they go back to their office. And now you've got them in your CRM and they're getting your stuff. Like, again, there's no wasted time. But if you're rushing this stuff and you're just sitting behind a desk and you're sitting in your hat and you're not dressed up and you're not feeling confident, like, you might as well just go work for Rocket in a call center. And if you're on this call, I don't think that's what you want to do, but you might still be behaving like you're a call center loan officer. Like, just seriously, how are you showing up for work? I've started dressing up way more again, because I'm like, I'm in sales. Like, let's go. We got to feel good. We got to connect. We got to bring good energy. Every human being has a story. I'm curious about them. And I hate that we got away from that because COVID sequestered us, and then you dropped quadruple the volume on us all. And we just became like paper pusher number crunchers. I also think that for 10 years, Dave, I called it Act One from 2010 to 2021. That was like a 12-year run in the business. Guys, the rates essentially went down and down and down and down and down and down and down. And the house prices went up and up, and there was enough inventory. Well, that's not what this is anymore. This is a long game, building relationships, creating win-win partnerships, constantly being connected with people and understanding how their goals might be evolving and changing, and continuing to show up with people and say, I care about you, I care about you, care about you. It also means that you've got to cut loose people that suck. Can we just state that? Because I think that's also been going on as we've been living in fear, and we're like, oh, this person, they drag me down, they're negative, they're whatever. Like, let that go. The quicker you can let go of baggage and indecision and self-doubt, and you can go back and do, okay, what do I know about myself? I know this about myself. I trust myself. I trust in this philosophy that if I spend 4 hours a day in building relationships and connecting with people and growing a referral partner team, that I will always be successful. Like, I just think ultimately, if I was going to interview a loan officer today, Dave, or you were today, and we had to like bet on which person was going to make it, I'd say, like, show me your 10 favorite friends in the industry. Tell me about them. Tell me about their kids. Tell me about their lives. What's going on for them in business right now? And there's a lot of loan officers that only have like 3. And as we know, when there's inventory, you just need more friends. Go out and make more friends, and that's how you win locally, right? By the way, realtors are going to have to continue winning locally. Like, right. So, and they're local and we're local. I mean, I don't think it's that hard. But for me, I'm saying this now with complete conviction and passion. I just want to share with you guys that I hit burnout in 2018 or 19. Okay. Like, complete, like, I went berserkers. I grew from 2010 to 2018 from just me in a backpack. I never had a team. I never had an assistant. I was in that bet on myself phase. I got involved with a coaching program, and I was like, oh shit, there's this thing about, like, I got to be a rainmaker, and I got to be a team builder, and I got to be a business person. And I got to be, in my community. I was on every board. I was coaching so many people. I just did everything as fast as I can because I just run with a lot of intensity. And I went from 1 person to 1 billion in 2018. My team has closed 6,500 loans in the last 15 years. Like, I've been busy. I've been after it. In the last year and a half, I started a coaching program. I started a podcast. I do sales mastery calls. I launched a website. I'm a nut job, Dave. So my point in saying that is, I pulled back majorly. I moved to Spain. I moved halfway across the world. I stopped going to networking events. I pulled so far back because I overdid it in the pendulum. And my journey over the last 2 years has been getting back into my power zone, getting back into remembering what got me here in the first place. Who am I and what do I have to bring to this marketplace? And so wherever you're at in this call, you can decide to change and get back and return to your powerful self. Use the tools that are there, but remember that it's about human connection, and you're actually good at that part because you got in sales for a reason. You believe you're likable. You believe you're charismatic. And now you just have to go, okay, I'm going to put together a simple plan. Do days plan, 10 quality conversations and 2 TCAs a day. I say in the Rainmaker movement, you got to book 2 appointments a day. Like, go to a networking meeting, get 5 business cards, follow up on those people, get 2 appointments a day, go through all your old lead lists, go through Zillow lead lists, go through anywhere and book 2 appointments per day. They could be Zooms. They even could be FaceTimes. Okay. And you could say, hey, I got this new product. I got to tell you about it. I need 10 minutes of your eyeballs face to face. Can I FaceTime you at 3:00? That's a face-to-face. Like, it's just a simple plan. So for me, I say 2 appointments a day because salespeople go from appointment to appointment. And if you got to make 100 calls to get 2 appointments, or you got to make 2, I'd like you to find the easiest, most effective way to get it done.
Love this. So anyone that wants to do some homework on the other side of this and, get some inspiration, get some momentum, can't recommend enough. If you do not already follow Shayla Gifford's YouTube channel, it's badass. It's a new must watch mortgage interview. Highly recommend you watch this one. The technician ditched the playbook and built a $100 million business. So great interview. Also, this is a little blast from the past, but Shayla Gifford, one of my all-time favorite keynotes at the Modern Mortgage Summit. And thank you, Shayla, for every year being on that stage. But this one, Shayla Gifford's Modern Mortgage Experience, it's the blend of technology and in person. And so check that out. It's only 18 minutes. Those are 2 homework assignments. We'll have those in links down below if you're watching this on YouTube. And we'll put a link right now in chat for anyone that wants to do this. So Shayla, in our last 10 minutes, put your coaching hat because you are a coach, you are a sales leader to a lot of folks. Pretend that this is your tribe, and close out. How do they take action on this Shayla Gifford style? Like, what are some of your closing thoughts as we wrap this up?
Okay, so first I have to answer Mike's question, which is drill down into the sucky people category. Is this referral partners or friends or what specifically? Anybody who sucks, I'm over it, Mike. Just so you know, like I would say the thing I'm most proud of in being a rainmaker is landing my husband. Like I prospected and sourced a really freaking good one. And then honestly, I don't spend any time with people that suck at all. Like I also don't listen to the news. I don't have it in my algorithm. I'm like a positive energy bubble. One of my commitments, if you were to look at my code, is to feel good. Like I genuinely want to feel good every day because my standard for myself is to bring that A-level energy. So I'm tight on what I eat. I was at my President's Club trip in Nevis last week, and I chose to drink one night only so that I could be extra silly and fun with my team. I think I'm pretty fun sober still, but it wasn't for me. I don't like alcohol. It makes me feel like crap the next day. And so I chose to, even though it's super fun when I do, right? So I just think that like if you really trust in yourself and you are focused on building your confidence for yourself, and you realize that there's like 7 billion people on this planet and that we all live in towns big enough, and there's the next 3 coolest friends that could bring you so much joy and fulfillment. There's 3 more business partners that would be so stoked about your process and your commitment and your hard work and your like whatever. But yet we are hanging on to just these latchers out of fear. Like, oh, but I closed 2 deals in the first quarter with this person. You got to trust in your ability to go make more new friends and to keep expanding. And that if you've outgrown people and your attitude, what you're focused on, you're listening to podcasts, you're reading books, you're showing up to these calls, you're getting up early, you're journaling, you're using the Catalyst planner, you're focusing on being on fire. But then you turn around and allow negativity and BS and to be treated poorly. You're completely disrupting that you trust yourself and your plan. You're actually sending a huge message of this is what I want, but then I allow this, so I don't believe it's really possible for myself. Right? So this is you betting on you. This is you choosing you and going to create the life that you want to create, one relationship at a time. Now, is it going to turn around and you have 11 loans in your pipeline in 6 weeks? Doubt it. Okay. Now, if rates drop, then great, like cool things happen. Stop focusing on the outcome and focus on the process. Fall in love with the process of feeling good one day at a time, choosing to like give your positive energy to people and align with people that like, they fire you up, that have similar goals to what you're on to. And that changes all the time. Okay. So I'm coaching you. Okay. So number one question I would ask you is, let's look at your list right now. If you are a loan officer, I still think the number one referral partner source for us is real estate agents. Why? because they live and die by the same client that we do. I know you can get a ton of referrals from your database and attorneys and CPAs and financial advisors and business leaders in your community. You can network at the Chamber of Commerce, at a BNI, at all these other places. It's wonderful. I'm a networker. I got started at 23 and I wanted to become well-known. I wanted to be that woman in my community that's like, that's Shayla Gifford, she's doing stuff. However, that doesn't pay the bills. Okay. Once I focused on saying realtors are my partners, they need to get paid before I get paid. Who's my ideal realtor? Like, what do they think about? How hard are they working? What are their goals? What is their attitude about things? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Write down a list of the top 10 characteristics. You probably have 2 realtors and you're like, oh, if I could have 3 more of them, that would be epic. I challenge you to actually write it down, because once you've written it down, you'll more clearly find it. It's like the reticular activator in your brain will be like, I'm looking for people who are young, hungry, driven, and humble, as an example. And all of a sudden you'll get out in the world, you'll look at open houses, your just brain will be like, oh, that person looks like they're hungry. That person looks like they're humble. Like, yes, I need to meet them. Then you start complimenting them. Then you start pointing out their key qualities that you possess in yourself, right? Because whatever you're judging people for is what you're judging yourself for. And whatever you're noticing as a positive in somebody else is because you possess that positive. You want to know, Dave, the study of the most popular kids in high school? They studied this across 400 high schools. The number one indicator of most popular was that they had the longest list of people that they liked. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be liked, AKA referred, go out and like more people. Find reasons why you like them. Ooh, you intrigue me about that. Your mind works in interesting ways. What is your Enneagram? I wonder what your disc profile is. Tell me about your story. Where did you come from? Like, just go out to like people. Start trying to like the barista. Start trying to like the gas station attendant. Like, just turn on that superpower love energy to other people, and you will be amazed that all of a sudden you will see people in a whole different light. They will behave in a different light. Because if I hold this expectation that you're just going to be loving and rad and driven, and we're going to do this together, you don't want to disappoint me. So you step up your game. This is why we are who we hang around. If you're on a team that is negative and allows you to whine and bitch and doesn't hold you to a higher level, you will continue to slump down. If you get on a team where you're like, nope, that's not allowed in this locker room. That's not allowed in this team meeting. We are not acting that way. All of a sudden we go, oh, okay. And we move into the more powerful, positive part of ourselves, because we all have a range. The best of us, the most generous, selfless, confident, go-getter, and the worst of us. We all have it. So what are you doing in your everyday to be on the light side? Craig said it at Modern Mortgage Summit, Dave. He said, are you in a beautiful state or in a suffering state? And what do you do in the morning to get yourself into a beautiful state? So I got to know your list. I got to know your top 10 characteristics of what you're looking for. And then I need you to have a prospecting list of 25 people. Okay. You could figure out the easiest way to get that list together. If you've been doing this a while, you call all the people that you know. They may not even be people that you do business with now, and say, hey, I got to go out and meet some new friends and figure out who wants to kick ass this summer. I'm driven. I'm on fire. I feel good. And I just want to find other really driven, excited people. Do you know who? That's the script. Who do you know who? Who do you know who is young, hungry, and competitive right now? Who do you know who is hungry as hell and working open houses every weekend? Who do you know who is really well connected and has got a bunch of listings but can't get them sold? Who do you know who loves first-time home buyers? You guys get the point? You get to fill in what it is you're looking for, and then you shut up and wait for them to come up with somebody. Right off the bat, they're going to be like, gosh, I don't really know. And then you just kind of wait a sec. And then they might go, there's this person, or I don't know what their name is, or, like, give people a chance, and then ask them, say, hey, can I connect with you on social? If I see any of our connected friends? Can I ask you if you know them? Like I'm really like I'm on a hunt. Like I'm serious. Like I'm like out there looking for awesome people right now. People got to sense your intensity and enthusiasm. So that would be me is turn on the love, increase your enthusiasm, have a list, and then just get out there and start making more friends. We're right at time. So I'll stop there.
All right, guys, give us a reaction. Let us know what you thought of today's call with Shayla Gifford. So use that in Zoom, audience. Let's go. We got a lot of hearts. We got a lot of claps. Shayla, you rock. Make sure you go to ShaylaGifford.com, take her assessment, follow and subscribe to her podcast. If you do not already subscribe to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, subscribe today. We also put a link to get a 10-day free trial to Modern Mortgage IQ, where Shayla has been on that stage every year. There's lots of great content in there. Shayla Gifford, I'm grateful for you. You are a Sun person, and thank you for making time today. Take care,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
This is a
Yeah.
wrap. Cheers, everyone.